Hey everyone, Gretchen Wegner here, the creator of the anti-boring approach to powerful studying. And just today, I had a client very proudly show me a bound document that he had created. Now, this isn't the document because he's far away. We met on Zoom, but this is an example of something that he showed me. And the document was all of the cram packets that his AP World History teacher had been giving them through the year to get ready for the AP test, which is just a few days away. And he showed me this, very proud that he had compiled them all together. And so I asked him the question I often ask my students, which is, oh, cool, how are you going to use it? How are you going to study? How will you apply the study cycle to this packet? And his answer was an answer that I wasn't very fond of. And he said, well, there's no way to quiz myself about all the information. So that shows he understands the study cycle and the importance of quizzing himself. So that's good. But he said, there's no way to quiz myself, so I'm just going to read and highlight. Not a good idea. If you've been following my blog or any other information about studying, you should know that the act of passively reading and even highlighting is very boring to the brain. But I talk about how to have an anti-boring approach to powerful studying because we want your brain awake and engaged and focused on the information and not just kind of passively reading and highlighting. So I reminded him of something that he had either forgotten or didn't know, which is that you can easily quiz yourself even if the information you're looking at is not in a quizzable format. So this says how to quiz self. Sorry, it's a little messy. But the first thing is to notice the headings of a section. So this cram packet had headings and then facts that he was supposed to know underneath it. So just notice the heading, step number one. Step number two is to say or write everything that you know about the topic down. And you're doing this without looking at the packet, right? Because if you're looking at it, if you have it like right in front of you like that, then you are not actually quizzing yourself, because you're fostering what's called the illusion of knowing. You see it in front of you and you just kind of feel like you know the information, but you're not proving it to yourself. So if you kind of look at it to see what the heading is, and then you look away and you start saying out loud everything you can think of about nationalism and what that means, for example, that was the example that he used with me, and you say all that out loud, then you're practicing retrieval. You're practicing quizzing or testing yourself. You can also, a lot of my clients like to write down everything they know on a whiteboard or a piece of paper because they're more likely, they're more visual and physical than verbal. Either way is fine. Both ways, even better. So then step three is to look back at the book, or in his case, his cram packet, to see what he missed. So now he's assessing what he's learning and he's reading it just like he was going to read it earlier, but this time he's reading it with more curiosity because he's wondering, like, what did I get right and what did I miss? And then the last thing is to write down anything that you have trouble with in that section. So if it was clear, like, oh my God, I missed this whole section about nationalism, blah, 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 blah. So then you do have a piece of paper or maybe flashcards. Maybe you use a T-chart. There are all kinds of quizzable formats that I talk about in my online course, The Anti-Boring Approach to Powerful Studying. And you write those things into the T-chart because you're probably going to need to look at it later to further kind of solidify it in your brain. So it is absolutely possible to quiz yourself, even if you don't have a list of pre-made questions. And even if you're just looking at a boring old reading with headings and text underneath it, you can still use that format to quiz yourself. If you have any more questions or want to have more tips and tools about how different ways you can quiz yourself, my online course is available. It provides everything that I share with my students in coaching, but it's only $200 instead of a few $1,000s. So check that out. And it's at GretchenWegner.com. And as always, I love questions. Gretchen at GretchenWegner.com is how you can ask them. Okay, y'all, take care. Bye-bye.